did you get here actually? Like, did your mom force you? Like, how did you actually like wind up in here? Like, did your mom call and force you? Did you say, I want to talk to somebody? How did that happen?
One day, I was in my room and I was actually on some substance. I really don't even remember what I was on. But I just like felt like so vulnerable. I knew that what I was doing was wrong, really. And I was like, if I don't like say something now while I'm feeling this way, there's no telling how much longer it's going to be before I feel this way again.
You're having a moment of clarity.
And my mom, for some reason, came in my room, and it was so weird that this happened like this. She was like, do you think that you might need some help? And I was like, yeah, I do think that.
She must have felt it.
I think she did.
Moms know these things, man.
That is some extraterrestrial.
Moms have the power.
That trips me out.
It's the truth, man.
It's something crazy.
All right, Caleb. So, how old were you when you had your first drug experience?
I was 14 years old.
Okay. And how old are you now?
21.
So you're 21, and you got sober when you were?
In 2017, so that was 2 years ago. So I was 18 at the time, I think, and then I started to turn 19, like right around the time.
Okay. What's it like to be sober before 21? I mean,
tough.
That's crazy to think about, isn't it?
Yeah, especially because like if I'm like something I like to do like for fun, like being sober is like go to concerts and stuff like that. So like when there's all the other people around and they're like younger than me and they're just like off all kinds of drugs and just like whatever, it's just like it's weird.
It is.
Being like young and doing this, yeah.
Was it hard to turn 21 and not go out and get wasted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was for sure. Yeah.
So you were 19 when you got sober. You're 21 now, and the first drug use was when you were, what'd you say?
I was 14.
You were 14. Can you tell me that story?
That was just a day that I had off school. It could have been like a teacher's work day or something like that. I had been interested in like trying weed for a really long time.
What got you like interested? Like, do you hear people talking about it?
Yeah, it was mainly just like older people like throughout the school, pretty much is what it was.
Okay.
And so I was just like very curious about it, just like pretty normal, I guess.
Like, what's all that about?
At some point, yeah.
Okay.
And so I met up with my friend that had done it like one time before, and the school I was at, it was either like you came from this one school that was like really good kids, or a different school that was like pretty like at the time like they seemed rough.
Side of town or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so at the high school I was at, we meet, and those were the guys like I went to, and I was like,
you knew where to go.
Yeah, I was what I call like a goofy at the time, like didn't know anything about anything, and me and my friend I was with, we just he texted them and he was like, hey, do you think me and Caleb could come meet you guys and like smoke for like his first time? And they're like pretty cool about it. So we went to this place, and the place is called The Bowl.
What is that?
It's like a place where kids go with their Jeeps and they like go off-roading. Okay. Basically.
Okay.
So it was like very hard to find at first. I didn't feel like anything, like nothing happened. And then I feel like that it was somewhat like, okay, I'll go back and do it again. And then
were you thinking like I must have did it wrong?
Yeah, kinda. Okay. But then I had also heard people saying like their first time, like something that has to do with the brain, like it just doesn't like register the first time.
Other people have a panic attack or something. Yeah, sometimes,
Yeah. So I'm glad that didn't happen. But
yeah. Well, maybe it would have been better if it did.
Yeah, probably, honestly.
Yeah. Okay. So you didn't get it right the first time, but you weren't giving up. You hung in there.
Yeah, definitely not.
So what happens in the story after that then?
Oh, so we met them and smoked, and then we went and got some on our own because they sent us to the guy that had some, which is actually another one of their friends from the rough side of town or whatever. And So we just met up with him and we got some. He probably like shorted us, don't even know, didn't really care at the time.
Because he was like, look at these kids.
Yeah, because they're goofies is like what we were. And so yeah, and then we tried to go like roll a blunt, and it just was the worst.
This is almost comical.
Yeah, it was horrible, and you couldn't even like smoke it or anything like that, and so I just like gave up for that day.
Okay.
But we did it like at a church, which I felt kind of weird about that, because like at that time still I was like going to church with my family like every Sunday, so
you got the guilty
that
conscience.
felt really bad then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when did it start getting problematic? How did that happen?
It wasn't that long after weed that I moved to like pills. I would say it was probably like 3 or 4 months maybe. And then the first time doing that is when like I thought it like could turn into a problem.
Okay. So you really, when you were smoking weed before you did the pills, were you smoking it like a lot chromatically, or just every now and then?
Just every now and then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would kind of fall into like normal teen experimentation.
I would say so, yeah.
So what made you decide to do pills?
My friends were just trying them, and they liked, it was because we were too young to get alcohol at the time. They were saying it kind of made them feel like they were drunk.
Okay.
Like had that kind of effect with it. So like I wanted to try that.
What pills were they?
Xanax,
Xanax.
of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
You're saying of course,
like just like everyone's.
Obviously, Amber.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much just like how it is these days, really.
Okay. Were you nervous about that?
Yeah, but the effect that I saw that it had on them, and like just how like mellow they were at some points, I was like, okay, it's not gonna be that bad.
Okay.
I was worried about getting something like mixed in there with it though. That was the one thing that I did worry about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like what if somebody slipped something else in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you did the Xanaxes or whatever they were, and you were like, oh, this could be a problem? In your head?
Oh yeah. When I first like popped it, and then I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. Like that's a little bit harder.
Like crossed a bigger line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that why you thought this could be a problem, or it was like, I thought when you're saying it, you meant like, I liked it so much I thought, oh, this could be a problem?
It was kind of both, I think. Just because like I had my morals from like middle school that like maybe weed is okay one day, but then like I never thought like pills or anything like that.
It's a line you thought you wouldn't cross.
Yeah.
Right after you did that the first time, did you start using pretty regularly or no?
I started thinking about it a lot more. I didn't really use that much more until like a few months after that.
Okay.
And then I was about like 15 or like 15 at the time, yeah.
Okay.
So then, yeah.
Why did you start using more? Just because, when do you think, looking back, was it like a problem?
The first time I really realized it was, I think I took like $5 from my mom or something like that. She told me to go get her purse to bring it to her so she could pick out some money for me. And I ended up taking like $5 extra for the drugs. So that was the first time I was like, okay, that's really like not good at all. Never would have thought about doing that at all.
So you're like, okay, I really crossed a line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it was enough doing the pills, but then stealing for the pills, that was like, I really don't feel good about that at all. Yeah.
But it didn't stop you?
No.
Okay.
No, it did not.
And then what happened?
Pretty much, so that was like anywhere between like 15, 16. The first time that I thought I was getting caught was I was in my bonus room talking to my mom, and my sister was in, her room was across from mine, and she was walking downstairs because I could hear her, and she stopped, and I had weed in my room, and I knew that she smelt it like right off the bat. And she was like, Mom, can you come in here for a second? And my mom goes in there, and she comes back, and she didn't say anything at all, which I was pretty surprised about, but then I came out and told her.
Your mom or your sister?
My mom.
Okay.
My sister noticed it and then called my mom in there. And then my mom came back to where I was at, but she didn't say anything, and that was scary.
Oh, your heart. Like, I just watching you remember, I can see your heart beating.
Yeah, that was very scary.
You were scared of that. But then you just confessed it?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Like, I really don't I feel like I still could have like gotten away with it, but at the same time I feel like she knew, like, for sure at that point. Yeah, and like
your mom knows what weed smells like.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But yeah, like just that feeling of like, you know, that your parents know something that you're doing. That feeling, like, that was the first time I really felt that, and that killed to like feel that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You still have conscience at this part of the story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's like you have these moments where you're like aware that you don't like your behavior.
Yeah.
But you're still doing it anyways.
Yeah.
But you have these little moments. It's like, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. From like the pills, it went to like party drugs, which I count as like ecstasy, molly, acid, mushrooms, like hallucinogenic, and that took off like more than like the pills did. And with that was scary for me because like I felt like I was like really going insane. Like even when I wasn't on those drugs, like still having just like crazy thoughts and like thinking that I'm seeing things. And I just could never like give my brain a break though. I just like was not gonna stop. And then like here and there like a few overdoses, which like to put my parents through that was like killer too. But that was like once I got to that point, then like those moments of clarity like stopped, and like I just was like, if I'm gonna like overdose, then I'm just gonna overdose, and there's like that's just how it's gonna be.
You got to the efforts.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Okay.
We all went and like had a lake house, and like it was real fun. One of my friends offered me like a Xanax, and I had already taken some of my mom's promethazine as well.
What is that?
Promethazine, it's actually like an antihistamine, like allergy thing kind of.
I've never heard of it, but I couldn't think what that was.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you take enough of it, you just get like drowsy.
Okay.
And so I mixed that with the Xanax I was given, and just like drinking all night. For some reason, I did not fall asleep that night. My friend took me home, or took me to my car. Somehow got home, really don't remember that at all. I would say that was my first like blackout, kind of. And then like I just hit the bed when I got home, and like I was out for like 17 hours or so.
Okay.
So I slept all the way from like 12 one day to like the next morning, which like I just don't do that normally. Like,
so your parents, it's the day after prom.
Yeah.
And they can't wake you up. They must have been scared.
Yeah. Like eventually like coming to, and then like seeing them above me, and just knowing that like I did something wrong. But I still was like very like out of it. I couldn't like form sentences. So that was very scary to like put them through that.
Do you have a moment that you feel like looking back like that was my bottom?
I would say like, because there had been multiple times that had happened. The biggest one for me was when I had gotten into rehab over at a place called Safety Net. I actually ended up getting like 20 days clean, then had my appendix was about to bust.
I remember this.
And so I had the surgery. My mom held on to my pills for pain when I got out. But I knew where the pills were at the house still. And since I had been gone in recovery, not living at home, they had moved the pills back into the cabinet where they were normally at.
They weren't like on guard as much. Okay.
Yeah, and so I had waited for my mom to give me my pill for the night to like help me sleep and let the pain go away. And I waited for her, and I cheeked it. Which means like I just like put it on the side of my gum and like spit it back out when she left, and went downstairs, which was horrible because I was in, that's like the worst pain I've ever been in, like ever.
Like you needed the pain medicine for pain.
Yeah.
Like you should have took it. Like you were supposed to. Okay.
But ended up making it downstairs. This total was probably like a 25-minute trip for me to get up out of the chair, go downstairs, get more pills that I knew was in the cabinet, make it back upstairs.
It's like a movie where someone's like shot and they're like, it's like a picture, they're like rolling across the floor, like it's terrible.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And like had time to like drink a little bit of my mom's wine down there, which I was I don't even know why I did that, but I did. Got all the pills and then just like went back upstairs to my chair. Could barely like sit back down in the chair, but finally got in there. And then I just remember like eating pills like the rest of the night. One of the worst.
It's like desperate, you know. It's like
yeah.
That you like put yourself through all that torture.
Yeah.
Because you would come to group and you would say, I'm just smoking weed or whatever, and then we would say, Caleb, got stop, and you would say, I'm gonna cut back.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And we'd say, all right, Caleb, tell us what you're gonna do, and then you come the next like 2 days later, you're like, did you do it? And you're like, nah. Every week, it went on for weeks.
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
I'm surprised y'all actually let me stay that long, honestly. I thought y'all would have like kicked me out then or something.
We wanted you to figure out that you couldn't do that. Like, we knew you couldn't do that. Yeah. But we needed you to figure out that cutback plan wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
So we were just letting you figure that out.
Yeah.
What happened that you finally decided to go to Greenville Transitions? Because I remember it got bad.
The recovery place that I was at, he passed away. Which that was big, and like I feel like a lot of people there kind of like gave up a little bit after that had happened. Because he was like the main person there that like everyone went to. One of my friends, real close friends, fell off like pretty much like a 2-story porch, and so like that was really rough. She was like not good for like a while, and that was very scary.
You didn't know if she was gonna live.
Yeah.
Or be able to walk or anything. You were pretty upset about that.
And that was one of like the friends that like I was like just like real easy to talk to. Really, and like I didn't have like a lot of that.
Like you really felt like you trusted her, felt connected to her.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so those 2 things happened, and then how did they get you to go to GT? Like, did you just go willingly, or?
At first, they wanted me to do a wilderness program up in North Carolina, and I really did not want to do that. I'm fine with it being outside for like a day or so, but not really like camping.
Yeah,
like
it doesn't seem like
being out for a while. No, not at all. They wanted me to do that, and I was just like, if there's any other thing I can do to get into transitions, like I'll do it.
Okay.
And so they're like, okay. The owner of Transitions, David McNeese, got on the phone with him one day, and he was like, hey man, if you think you can make it 2 weeks at your home without any drugs, then you can have your spot here at Greenville Transitions.
I do remember that now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you actually make those 2?
I made it.
You actually did it?
I actually made it. Yeah.
How'd you do that?
There was a lot of contemplating if because I was on lockdown. Mama Bear like stepped in.
She
like
had you handcuffed her?
Yeah, there was nothing I could do without going seen, really.
Okay.
Which I still could have like gotten someone to like deliver me something or something like that. Just really chose like not to. But and then there was a few times where like she left her door open, and I wanted to go in there and like steal some of her pills, but I didn't.
So it was like a battle in your head.
Pretty much, yes. I literally just like, you think I play video games a good bit? That was like the most I've ever played video games like in my life.
Okay, you're just like, let me just focus on this game because I can't think about anything right now.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your experience like there?
GT's was like awesome for me, really. Like that group of guys, knowing that I could have like sober people and like be able to tell them things like how I told like that one friend, and them just like not judging me for it, really.
Do you feel comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But at GT, you have to go to like meetings there.
I did. I had one at the first recovery place I was at,
Okay.
but didn't do anything. Just made no effort with it, really.
Okay.
When I got to GT's, I had to make an effort with it, which that's what it was at first. Like, I have to do this to get out of here eventually. Then I started like calling him on my own, like wanting to meet up with him, because I could see like the difference that the 12 steps was doing like for my life.
So when you first went to GT, was there a part of you, did you want to get sober, or you just like, I'm not going to the woods?
I did want to get sober. That I wanted to see, really my main interest at the time was am I really crazy, like, without these drugs? Am I going to keep seeing things? I need to give my brain, like, enough time.
You were scared. You were scared
for
you
sure.
would, like, seriously damage yourself. Okay. Yeah. What kind of things would happen that was scaring you so much?
If I would, like, stare at something, like, I could stare at, like, a blank wall, and after, like, a few seconds, if I just, like, stared, there could, like a pattern could form, or, like, I know it sounds, like, really crazy, but...
It's like you could make yourself trip, almost.
Pretty much, yeah. Which, like, that did, like, add some excitement to my day, like, having that there, but it got to the point where it was, like, I'm not on drugs anymore, and this is, like, really scary.
Like, got where you, like, you couldn't control it. It wasn't like you could turn it on or off.
And, like, each time it started to happen, like, it was pretty much just, like, a panic attack after that. Just, like, in my head, not really, like, freaking out on people or anything like that. But, yeah.
Inside your head, you were getting scared?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the hardest part about getting sober?
For me, personally, I think it's different for everyone. For me, it's, like, cutting off the old friends. There's no other way to put it. Like, that just has to go. For me, like, that had to go. For me to, like, have time to, like, think about what I need to get going, like, for myself.
So you've been sober now for...
On August 23rd, it'll be 2 years.
You'll be 2 years sober on August 23rd. What is the thing about your life that's most different?
That's most different? Probably just that I can, just, like, show myself to the world just, like, as who I am, really, without, like, all the insecurities, really. Had a lot with, like, acne and, like, stuff like that, which, like, a lot of that came from, like, the drug use too, so that's definitely a big
part. 'Cause you used to kind of
part.
go all covered up.
Closed off, yeah. I would, like, have my hat, like, very low. Yeah, I did not want anyone to, like, look into me, like, look into my eyes and just, like, see, like, how, like, brittle and, like, weak I was, like, as a person, really.
That's different?
No, that's a really good one, I would say. I do, pretty much just, like, I'm really just concerned with, like, coming here, like, my girlfriend, my dog.
Because you have a serious girlfriend now.
I do have a serious girlfriend, yeah.
And you have an anniversary coming up.
Yeah. Yep.
It'll be 1 year.
March 31st, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And she's been with you, you've been in recovery the whole time she's been with you.
We started talking before I was out of Greenville Transitions, which I don't know if that's, like, the best for everybody. I hear, like, sometimes, like, a girlfriend or, like, someone for you, like, early recovery is, like, not always the best. But.
I know normally we disapprove of that, but for some reason I remember we were kind of okay with it. I think everyone liked the girl or something. Yeah. So we just sort of, like, gave you a pass.
Yeah, no, she's been, like, such a huge part, really. Like, I can't, like, express that enough.
How did you have that conversation with her? Is that awkward? Like, in a brand new,
I think she kind of, like, was into that a little bit.
Okay. Chicks dig sobriety? Is
I don't know about that.
Man, new hashtag. Okay, I like it.
But yeah, I think just, like, somewhat, she could see that I was, like, somewhat trying to, like, get my stuff together.
I think chicks do dig that.
I think
they do.
Yeah. I don't see why they wouldn't, because if they're messing around with someone that's just, like, going out all the time or just, like, that's all that they're focused on.
You get, like, reformed bad boy status.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And you have a dog?
Yeah, a French bulldog. His name is Jibwa.
And I remember you told us for, like, it was almost like you were adopting a kid, because for a year.
Yeah, he had to, like, be conceived and, like.
You told us, like, all along.
Yeah,
it was like,
and I was on the waiting list for, like, months and months.
Yeah, it was like an adoption, like, legit.
And then he finally came to be.
Is there any one thing that you would want to tell anybody that's, like, young and early in recovery, or young and thinking about getting in recovery?
You just gotta be honest with yourself, like, right off the start, really. Because, like, the longer you put off things that, and I'm not saying just be completely 100% transparent with everyone, because, like, I don't think everyone deserves to, like, know all about you or, like, what's happened to you, but the quicker that you, like, are able to, like, build connection with someone and, like, tell them about yourself, like, how you really are,
let your wall down.
Then, like, that's when you first start to, like, make progress, I feel like, that was like a big thing for me, really.
You gotta get vulnerable.
Yeah.
We talk about that in our group all the time.
Yeah. We just talked about that too.
We're like, we gotta get some vulnerability.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously, yeah.
Okay.
That's the biggest thing, I think.